live in the dungeon. This is the Dream Warrior Review. I'm Kurt Thomas.
I'm Mick Strawn.
A young man's recently deceased girlfriend mysteriously returns from the dead, but he slowly realizes that she is not the way he remembered her. And this has the amazing Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah.
I have a little crush on a little bit, but
there's no doubt about that.
she's pretty
Me
awesome.
too. Oh yeah. And Anna Kendrick.
Yes, and well, also John C. Reilly. He's one of my favorites. Just
Right, and
the
John
way he
C.
talks is
right.
just beautiful.
And Molly Shannon.
Molly Shannon, yeah. Cheryl Hines.
Paul Reiser.
They dragged up Paul Reiser. Where
Yeah,
did
they
he come
did.
from? Yeah, I haven't seen him for a while. I mean,
I haven't
not
either.
to say he's
not that I was looking for him.
He's actually a pretty good actor, but I haven't seen him for a long time. And the guy that played the boyfriend Zach, his name was Dane DeHaan, and he actually kind of looked like a zombie himself.
He did. He did. He looked like an upper class zombie. You know, sort of a the good side of the tracks zombie.
Right.
You know.
So
yeah.
I watched this. I have to confess, I watched this movie and I was like, I added it to our list and I said, he's gonna kill me because it's a zombie movie.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. I was like, oh god, is this really?
Because we were trying to take a break.
And the thing
from
is I didn't know what kind of movie it was for a while.
Well, I didn't know what it was until I watched it. And then
yeah,
I'm like,
I mean, because you don't really get the idea that it's a zombie movie until like 3/4 of the way through.
And then there's some awesome scenes though that I just had to get you to watch. There's one in particular with an oven or a stove.
Oh yeah,
That was probably my favorite shot right there.
Well, it wasn't a shot; it was a whole sequence.
It was a whole sequence.
It was actually two complete scenes where a stove was a major character.
Yeah,
in
it was awesome.
Yeah, that was.
There's a stunt. There's a stunt going on with that.
Now, was that a stunt stove? That's what I'm asking, really.
Right. But there was a leg involved too, which I really liked. But yes,
this is pretty weird.
I thought this was awesome because it was kind of it was like a Napoleon Dynamite zombie movie because it was like a independent movie that was had that feeling to it,
Yeah, and it had
and the dialogue was pretty funny.
It was a film that you just sit and watch.
Yeah,
and for at least 3/4 of it, it almost seemed like the people involved in it weren't really involved in it, I mean, there was something about it that was so oddly laid back, and yet...
Yeah, like all this is happening, but whatever.
Yeah, oh, look who's back. Yeah.
Well, John C. Reilly was like perfect for that. It
Right.
Was
It was, you know what? Here's what it seemed. Don't rock the boat.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't rock the boat. And you're like, okay. And then it gets a little deeper and you go, okay. Don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat. And you're like, and finally, you're wondering how far into this you are. You're going, I don't know. I don't know if I should be that involved in all this.
Well, there's certain things I got more into because I have a Saab that looks exactly like the one in this.
It's
the one out of my driveway that I'm trying to sell.
Yeah.
That's the Saab I drive, or I used to drive.
I see. Gotcha.
So I had a connection with that car.
Connection with the car.
So when there was things happening,
yeah.
It was exciting for me.
I can totally understand that. Plus, I think that what happened to that car kind of echoes the fact that you're starting to hate your car.
I don't hate it. I'm just... Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
John C. Reilly was a crack up. I
like some
Aubrey Plaza.
Some of the stuff she did was pretty funny.
Yeah, but I have to say this. I think Aubrey Plaza was fighting her own stereotype. Here's the thing, is her Aubrey Plaza thing is pretty...
It's pretty,
yeah, it's pretty whacked out, right?
Yeah.
And so when she's being whacked out in here...
I see your point, yeah. I see where you're going with that.
I couldn't figure out if that was just her being her character, I mean her shtick.
Right.
And it kind of caused a problem.
Yeah, I see your point. But she's played some amazing characters, like in other things, and like Legion, for example. I don't know if you saw that one.
I haven't.
You should watch that series. It's pretty amazing. Okay. She does an amazing job.
But you see what I mean, right? I mean, the thing is for her to act wacky is kind of a baseline,
right?
So for her to come up to her own natural baseline takes a while anyway, and I think that helped. That kind of helped with that leisurely pacing that it had for the longest time, because even though she sits outside of that, she always sits outside of that.
This is also before she kind of became well known, I think, because this is 2014.
Oh, really?
So this is a while ago.
Come on, yeah, but she's
this is before Parks and Recreation, and yeah, it was in Parks.
Parks and Recreation was that went on forever.
Okay, so I guess around the same time.
Yeah, and I really, truly, I love her dearly, and one of my
this wasn't
favorite,
her strongest performance, I don't think. But
no, I don't think it was either.
Aubrey.
One of the other people in there that I really love is Anna Kendrick.
Yeah.
And here's the thing:
you barely saw her.
I wrote something here. I thought that was very appropriate. This film should have been called 15 Seconds of Anna Kendrick.
There you go.
But
that's all they could afford,
who actually put in one of the most interesting performances was the guy that was playing his brother.
Oh yeah, Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle. Kyle was great because Kyle was the antithesis to everybody being laid back. Kyle was
Matthew Gray Gubler, right?
Yeah. His character was heading for the hills.
But do you see how I kind of tied it to the Napoleon Dynamite? Because you had the brother that was kind of
yeah,
a little different,
the crazed out,
but he turned out to be kind of smart.
Yeah, in the end, I like I like that at one point when all of a sudden they realize that total crap is breaking out, and he goes, "All I ever wanted to do was shoot people."
Yeah. Well, there's a scene where somebody breaks a door, kind of,
right,
and does something outside. That scene was pretty amazing, and it reminded me of a little bit of iZombie. Maybe it's more of Santa Clarita, I guess.
But there was a victim. Yes. There was a victim in here.
You're gonna say the viewer? No.
There was a victim that I think that we need to talk about. That victim is Jazz. Spyro Gyra,
yes,
who represented Spyro Gyra was through this thing,
yes,
representing the wave.
Yep.
And they were representing each other.
That was a fun aspect of the movie, though.
And it was hilarious.
Right.
Because you had people on one side that were going, "What, you don't like smooth jazz?" And then you have the other types that are being mesmerized by smooth jazz.
And then there's I liked how they kind of read into somebody from the past, like right after all those crazy things were going on.
Right.
He runs into somebody from school or something, and it's
oh, hi.
Everything's normal for a while, and then it suddenly changes again when he goes outside.
Yeah. It's.
Oh, so one of my favorite lines was when they're hiking with the stove. And she's like,
pretty.
Yes, it is pretty.
Yeah,
it's pretty out here.
So
if you go hiking with a zombie, and she goes, pretty.
There was one interesting thing is I kept thinking to myself that because there were a lot of charred bodies around, that he never reacted to the smell.
No, he didn't.
Which I was like, wow, that's kind of so. Especially in the backyard, when there's that pile. You first see that huge pile of bodies when he wakes up in the morning.
Well, and he also seemed kind of calm about it, like, oh.
Yeah. I didn't quite get that. I was like, oh, okay, well, there you go. So, and there was a piece in here where Aubrey Plaza walks through a sliding glass door.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. When she goes outside through a door.
was hysterical. And you know what was great about it? Was it wasn't focused on.
It was background. Yeah.
It was background. While these two are talking, she just goes all the way to the end.
That was one of my favorite shots.
To the end of the living room, all the way, so far away from the camera that it's barely catching her. And she just walks through the door.
There's a sound and
there's
stuff
sound
happening. You can see
everything,
something.
but they don't even turn to look at her. No. I love that. That was just great.
We'll see. There's also a little bit of horror in here because she's really clingy and
right.
That was part of
a little bit of horror.
Yeah, very clingy. She was very clingy. I've had girlfriends like that in the past. Yeah, and it was terrifying.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so if you have that connection,
horror is personal.
I made it. Yes. But
and there was a great fire at the very beginning.
Did you ever see Ruben and Ed? A really weird movie with Crispin Glover and Howard Hessman.
No.
It's about this traveling salesman, Howard Hessman, and he runs into this guy named Ruben, and he has a cat in his freezer, and
who doesn't?
They end up going to the desert to bury the cat together. It's one of the most bizarre movies I like, but it's an independent movie, and I actually had to buy. I couldn't find it anywhere, so I bought it on eBay. And it was on a DVD, but it ended up being a VHS copy burned on a DVD.
Ooh,
it was horrible. So anyway. But this had that feeling to it.
Hello, Ruben. What a tremendous day. What say we motor on over to the seminar and get you started on the Express to Success?
Nope. I guess you're pretty broken up about your cat.
Why don't you keep your hands off other people's refrigerators?
I also had a little bit of Woody Allen kind of quality to it, I think, with the dialogue.
There was a bone I had to pick with Dane DeHaan. The choice of putting him in those gray underwear shorts and him kind of obviously having an artificial penis stuffed in next to his penis was pretty funny.
Well, at first I wasn't so sure about him, but I kind of liked him after.
I did. Yeah. You know what? That's the weird thing about it. That is honestly something I have to say that by the end of the film, because all I was waiting for was to see Aubrey Plaza, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then Aubrey Plaza was kind of a letdown because she was underneath her normal and I started to really, really like
her best moments was when she was totally crazy.
Right. And the thing is, it took so much to build up to that. But he did grow on me, sort of like a virus or.
Right. I thought this was funny.
Like a mushroom.
The budget for this movie was $2.4 million.
Oh yeah, really?
And it brought in 80,000.
Wow.
So I thought that was
not good.
Kind of depressing.
Oh, there you go. Opening weekend. 15,000.
Yes.
That's
well, limited release. I mean, you gotta give a little credit for it.
Yeah. Well.
No, so I don't know. I guess this wasn't well received in 2014, apparently.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what it was until it popped up on Netflix. And
well, but you don't have very many of the numbers there. You've got gross in the USA. You know, the interesting thing though is that this would be difficult to play outside of the USA. You know, it has a very American look to it and very, probably wouldn't translate really well.
There's some countries that might translate to.
Hey, you know what?
Some of our listeners might be in those countries. Anyway.
I wanted to point out something that I heard that Train to Busan just got a second one green-lighted.
Whoa.
Yeah. So they're going to continue that story. Oh, yeah. That has to be one. I have to tell you,
Surfer Mick came out.
Dude. That film has got to be one of my favorites that I've seen this year. Absolutely.
Oh, for a zombie movie, for sure. It's one of my top.
Oh, yeah. Just absolutely. Just really... Just as a film.
Yeah.
As a film, it is absolutely brilliant.
Which, by the way, we have the sequel to Frankenstein's Army coming out in the theaters pretty soon.
Really?
In October.
Really?
It's called Overlord.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I have a feeling that J.J. Abrams might have seen Frankenstein's Army.
I think you're right about that. I really do.
But anyway, so we're definitely going to be doing Overlord, I think.
Yeah,
I want to see it just because it's...
Oh, yeah. I want
to compare it.
I want to compare it to Frankenstein's Army. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and you didn't like Frankenstein's Army that much, as I remember it. I liked it a lot.
I think I'm looking forward to seeing a big budget kind of, well, even though it's not the same movie, obviously, but it's similar.
Yeah. And it's very similar. Yeah.
I think,
it looks like it. I really wish that I had a great story to go with this one, but I haven't. I've done I haven't done that many comedies, and I don't think I've intentionally ever done a horror comedy.
Well, one thing I like about this is it wasn't really like, they didn't crowbar comedy in. It was written like a Woody Allen movie where there was just kind of funny dialogue,
right?
And weird, bizarre things happening in the background,
right? Exactly.
It was exactly like that.
And the two things, just mixed naturally.
And if you want to talk about character arcs, there were a couple good ones, I thought. I mean, Aubrey's was obvious,
right?
But then I thought the brothers, the relationship kind of changed, and then that was subtle. But I mean, I like how they kind of communicate. It was like me and my brother. I would go into his room and he'd say, "Close the door."
Yeah,
and
that's right.
It's like no,
on the other
outside.
side. Yeah, exactly.
So I think my brother actually told me that one time. I was like, okay, what's he going to tell me? As a little brother, I want to hear what my big brother's going to say.
That's right. That's exactly what I thought. I thought, well, yeah, that's going to come up, right?
So I thought it was written pretty brilliantly, actually.
Yeah.
And,
no, I kind of love the writing, and I think that my biggest disappointment in the film was Aubrey.
And that's the reason why I wanted to watch it in the first place.
And to tell you the truth, I think that it's just that the expectation of her standard character. Because think of the challenge. Aubrey Plaza had to come back as a normal girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
And that's hard for her, It's just not that's just not her baseline.
Yeah. You've got to see the show Legion, though.
Okay.
She played Lenny, a character named Lenny. It was pretty freaking unbelievable, actually. That's when I first saw her. Because I didn't know who she was, so I saw Legion.
Oh, gotcha.
But I was like, wow, this is pretty amazing. It sucked me into the show. Yeah. So I watched every episode I could find.
Okay, I will watch Legion.
I mean, there's other stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, some people like Parks and Recreation. I don't know why, but
did we? I loved Parks and Recreation.
I've actually never seen it.
Oh,
so.
absolutely.
I'm talking out of my ass.
Yeah, you definitely are. Oh, Parks and Recreation is great, and they have a little tiny horse that dies in the show,
right?
And who's the guy that went to Guardians of the Galaxy? Who's the head of Guardians of the Galaxy? Come on. You're not
Chris
Pratt. Right, Chris Pratt.
That was rough.
Yeah, that was very rough. But Chris Pratt is singing a kind of Candle in the Wind kind of song up in front of the whole town is singing at this horse swing. Oh God! And she's in it, and it is so hilarious. It just makes me just roll on the ground the whole thing. So
well, I will watch that show then.
The thing about Parks and Rec is you have to ignore the first 2 seasons. You have to wait until we get the character of Chris, who's played by that really handsome actor.
You talking about Chris Pratt?
No. Another
actor. Okay.
Another actor. Rob Lowe.
Oh, Rob Lowe.
When Rob Lowe joins the show, it all of a sudden, see, Rob Lowe and Adam Scott join the show at the same time, and the whole thing changes completely. It just becomes hilarious.
So it wouldn't be fun just to watch the first 2 seasons?
Well, I'm just saying that I would wait until you've seen it then come back to the first 2 seasons, because they are a different take on the comedy of it.
It has a lot of interesting people in it, like Rashida Jones. She's
amazing.
And
Jim O'Hare.
Nick Offerman's amazing. But
yeah, and Jim O'Hare.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess.
And Nick Offerman is amazing.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he really it's great.
Have you ever seen like any of his stand up? out there for sure.
Yeah, he is. He is. I tried to read his book. I have trouble reading comedians' books because they become repetitious. I think comedian's overall shtick can be explained in about 30 pages, and then the rest of it is just filler. Then you're like, oh, God, this is the same joke.
Unless you're Lewis Black.
Well, Lewis Black is just amazing.
And you just act like you're angry all the time.
Yeah,
I imagine him being like so sweet at home, like like
for
know,
sure, right?
like very quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so we didn't rate this. I find it hard to rate it because I think I'm around probably 3 or maybe 2.8. I'm in the middle, kind of average, I guess.
Yeah, you know what? I'm 2.2. I'm sorry. I
think I did enjoy some scenes. I mean, I think I was laughing out loud during a couple of them.
Well, there you go.
So
yeah, I was not.
Yeah, apparently most of the world wasn't either. So
yeah,
I'm over here by myself saying 2.8, 2.8. Everybody else is like 1.
$80 on the first weekend. You know, I mean, come on.
Oh well, did you see that Kevin Spacey movie? How much that movie made?
Oh well, that was
like $600.
That was painful. That was literally painful.
Yeah,
yeah.
So like 15 people saw it in the opening weekend.
Here's the thing. Honestly, I think that is a trumped up number because of the trumped up. Because honestly, I'm sure that at least 500 people saw it accidentally.
Right.
That's
because of Movie Pass, right?
Yeah. Right. So, yeah. Come on.
It wasn't for Movie Pass. But yeah, I saw that number and I'm like, what? It
was like
$600, wasn't it?
It was $620. I was like, man, that's weird. The thing is I'm telling you honestly, accidentally, more people would see a film than that.
Yeah. So people intentionally didn't see it.
I was watching a film called Where the Buffalo Roam.
I think I vaguely remember that.
It was Bill Murray version of he played
I remember that really vaguely.
He plays the great red shark, the Cadillac going across why can't I think of the name of the
I had Peter Boyle.
Hunter S. Thompson. He was playing the role of Hunter S. Thompson.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And by the way, it was a much better film than the version that has been done recently, right? But the thing is my dad. We're watching that film. We're in the theater in San Bernardino, and my dad walks in to the theater, and comes up and accidentally sits like 3 seats down from us, and we're like, what the hell is my dad doing in here? World War II vet.
Right.
And we're like. Couldn't figure out, and finally, they're driving across the, he's fending himself. Hunter S. Bill Murray is fending himself off from imaginary bats across the desert, and my dad kind of leans over to me and goes, "This isn't a Western." So. From that point of view, what I'm saying is that a film accidentally could have more people than $624 would represent.
Right.
Anyway.
And Kevin Spacey is an amazing actor.
Yeah, he is, but
you know how things are.
Yeah, I do. So
it's weird that you said trumped up numbers.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that? Yeah. I'm hating that too. I'm absolutely hating that. I cannot.
That has a whole new meaning now.
Jeez. That man is just destroying everything.
What if he's our listener?
You know what? We can do without that.
He might be listening to us.
No.
I gotta see what
I prefer to live my life thinking that wouldn't happen. All right?
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
But I do know for a fact that Obama listens to our podcast.
Oh, hello.
No question.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He and Richard Branson listen to our podcast together.
Thumbs up. Okay, I think we're done.
Yep.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on the Dream Warrior Review podcast. Don't forget to tell your friends about us, follow us, and, of course, like us. We can be found on Podbean, which is an amazing app, YouTube, Stitcher, Alexa on any pod, iTunes, Google Play. We're on Twitter as well, at DW Review, and, of course, Facebook. You can find us there. You can also email us at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com.